Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Aaron Castleberry, meteorologist Aaron Castleberry. I want to go over what we're expecting today. It's still evolving outside. There's still a lot of ifs and when it's going to get in. How cold is it going to be? Are we going to start off with some freezing rain or sleet? Is it going to sleet a little bit more than it will snow? A lot of questions. Right now, it's cold. It's cold across the state, but right now in central and southern Arkansas, and even into the River Valley and northwest Arkansas, we are starting to go above freezing. Right now, it's still below freezing in the Ozark foothills in the northeast Arkansas. Just taking a look at some numbers. I did a map just showing this on paper. Right now, it's 32 in Searcy. It's 30 right now in Jonesboro, 32, 28 across from in Harrison, Flippin, and Mountain Home, 28 in Batesville and Walnut Ridge, up to Corning. But into central Arkansas, even into the River Valley, it's 37 right now in Fort Smith. It's 35 in Fayetteville, 36 in Siloam, 35 in Russellville. It's 34 at Clinton International Airport in Little Rock. Across the river at the North Little Rock Airport, where the National Weather Service office is, it's 32 and it's 33 in Jacksonville. So in Pulaski County, it's where that line is setting up. Is it in Pulaski County? Is it just north of Pulaski County and parts of Faulkner and White County? Is it over northern Lone Oak and Prairie, over northern Monroe counties? Or does it stretch up in through Woodruff into Poinsett in Mississippi counties? That's where that line is. That's where the iffy is going to be. If you're on the line, especially starting off, we will get some rain across much of southern and central Arkansas, even into northeast Arkansas later on. I'll take a look at the radar here in a minute. A lot of rain is starting to fall across South Arkansas. That's all rain because right now it's 34 in Pine Bluff, 36 in Camden, 35 in El Dorado, and 38 in Monticello. When that's initial. This is not going to be today. It's not going to be when we start to see the snow. It's going to be behind the low that's right now tracking across northern parts of Louisiana, out of Texas into northern Louisiana, as it moves across the Mississippi River into parts of Mississippi, moving back up and headed towards Tennessee. That's when we're going to start to see that changeover to snow on the back side of that low as air gets drawn in. Moisture still will be around, and we could see quite a bit of moisture. A lot of snow could fall, and it could fall in places where it usually don't get a lot of snow, like in central eastern Arkansas, parts of southeast Arkansas, back up towards Memphis. That being said, we could still get a lot of snow in Little Rock. We could get a lot of snow in Jonesboro. Is where the line's sitting up. I want to go ahead and take a look at the radar right now across the state. Like I said, a lot of rain. Even have a couple tornado warnings in Texas. A lot of rain, moderate to heavy rain falling right now from Prescott over to Camden, Fordyce, Bearden, Star City, Gould, over to Monticello. And that rain will start to overflow into central Arkansas and into eastern parts of the state here in a few hours or so, bringing in a better chance of rain. Like I said, a lot of rain's falling. I think that's what the model is starting to pick up on, why they're bullseying southwest Arkansas. Some models are. One of the models trying to put a bullseye over southwest Arkansas for a lot of snow. I'm not buying that too much. I don't think southwest Arkansas is going to get a lot of snow at all. Might see a few flakes. But right now, really nothing going on north of I-30, north of I-40. Just a few showers out into the Ouachitas right now. So that's where the rain is right now, and that's just going to be a lot of cold rain. It's going to be a lot of cold rain in most of the state until after dark tonight, closer to 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And I'll show you a little bit of that here in just a second on a model on the high resolution rapid refresh model, which is basically the model that's initiating every hour instead of every 6 hours like the major models do. These are just initiating every hour and going out to about 15 hours out. So the one I'm going to look at will go out to around 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. We do still have a winter weather advisory across northeast Arkansas. Let me see if I can pull that advisory up. Okay. Still winter weather advisory for northeast Arkansas until 6 p.m. Mississippi County Cross, Poinsett, Craighead, Greene, Lawrence, Randolph, and Clay counties. That's just for if there's any light freezing rain or drizzle that could move across because it's still below zero in that part of the state. What I want to really show you right now is the winter storm warning. Winter storm warning in effect for much of eastern Arkansas and the central Arkansas, and even back into southeast Arkansas at this time. It goes until 9 p.m. tomorrow night for these eastern counties. Lawrence, Randolph, Lawrence, Greene, Clay, Randolph, Craighead, Poinsett, Carl, St. Francis, Lee, Phillips, Crittenden, and Mississippi County. That goes until 9 o'clock. The rest of the counties will go until noon tomorrow. And the reason that is the majority of the state, that's the National Weather Service out of Little Rock from Sharp County down to Jackson County, Woodruff, Monroe, Arkansas, and DeShay counties westward. Most of that is National Weather Service out of Little Rock. The East Arkansas counties are out of Memphis. And it could linger on just a little bit longer across the east. But I think it should be out by noon for most of the state tomorrow. Winter storm warning in effect for the rest of the day includes Little Rock and Searcy and Stuttgart and Pine Bluff down to Monticello over to even as far west as Hot Springs until noon tomorrow. And these blue counties out here, that's a winter storm watch for Randolph, for Fulton, Stone Izard, Van Buren, Conway, Pope, Yale counties, Montgomery down to Pike, Clark, Ouachita, Calhoun, and Bradley counties. That goes until noon, and down into southeast Arkansas, Ashley and Chico County until 6. You can see some snow, especially down in the northern parts of Chico County, northern parts of Ashley County. Could see a couple of inches. Could even see a couple of inches of Lake Village and Eudora. Dermot could see a little bit more. But I'm really focusing on an area that stretches from near Osceola back towards Wynne, Augusta, to around Searcy, back to Little Rock, down to Pine Bluffs, back through DeWitt, and back to Helena and West Helena. In that area, in that general area, in the Delta counties and the central Arkansas, where we can see the most snow, sleet, and freezing rain accumulating, causing major traffic problems, especially on I-40, 630. Even if you're going up 67, 167, and 955, it's going to be horrible across much of the state. But where the heaviest area of snow could fall, that could be where the worst is, and that could be along the I-40 corridor between Little Rock and Memphis. And don't think if you get over on the other side of Memphis, it's going to get better. It's going to go stretching all the way to the East Coast. But this is where I'm expecting most of the snow to fall. It's a lot of sleet and a lot of freezing rain. We can get up to a quarter of an inch of freezing rain, a couple of inches of sleet, and a few inches of snow in one given spot. That could happen. Folks into the foothills and in the foothill counties that are in the pink could see 1 to 3 inches of snow, and along these blue counties, 1 to 2 inches of snow is possible with this system as it starts to move out. But I think most of the snow will fall across eastern Arkansas, central and eastern Arkansas, even in the parts of southeast Arkansas. That is my thinking at this time. That could change with a new model update. That is not out of the realm of possibility. This time yesterday, we wasn't even thinking we were going to get much snow here in central Arkansas, even into eastern Arkansas, into the Delta counties, because most of that had shifted over into Tennessee and Mississippi. Last night, it started to trend back westward, and that trend hasn't let up yet. It's still trending westward over into central Arkansas, even in parts of the Ouachita foothills, stretching back into east Arkansas. I did say I want to show you one of these models right quick. And bring up the model. This is the new one. I'm going to see if it's only going out to around midnight, 11 o'clock to midnight right now. But I want to focus you on where that freezing line is. It's saying this is at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock this afternoon. This is where this model is initializing out, which is the base time. Showing that good bit of rain across South Arkansas. It's really picking up on the rain pretty nicely across the South. Those embedded thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms into Louisiana and Mississippi, or into Louisiana and Texas. That 32-degree line, okay, I will buy it just a little bit. That's probably a little bit farther south than what it's showing on this map. And this model is wanting to push that 32-degree line into Missouri. And I don't really think the temperatures this afternoon across northern Arkansas, really from Boone County down to Independence County, into Craighead County as well, have been holding quite steady. It's really not warmed up from 28 in the last 2 hours in Harrison and in Batesville and in Walnut Ridge. And temperatures going up a degree in Jonesboro. Temperatures really haven't moved in Searcy or Newport. Temperatures in Blytheville about the same. We've seen an uptick further south where I think it's going to get a little bit warmer, but just a couple of degrees. Might go up to 35 or 36, in Little Rock 37 at the most. And you see, this is the first area of rain. This is ahead of the low pressure system. The low is still over Texas, around the Arklatex right now, getting close to Texarkana. And that's around 4 o'clock this afternoon, 5 o'clock. Starting to move out. Got some strong storms into Louisiana, moving into Mississippi. But you start to see on the backside of this low, which is now over northern Louisiana, moving to northern Louisiana, we start to see that wraparound moisture coming in, and that 32-degree line will start to nudge its way south. Cold air coming out of the northeast will nudge that line, especially into the Delta. In the Delta counties, nudge it a little bit farther down, I think, than it does show on this model. So it might be warmer in the River Valley than it is in the Central Delta, because it's getting hung up in the cold air is getting hung up in the mountains over western Arkansas. It's being able to funnel down into the Delta a little bit more easierly. That's really not a word. A little easier into central Arkansas, into eastern Arkansas and the Delta, because the land is flat and only really hill you have is Crowley's Ridge, and it's really not going to be, Crowley's Ridge isn't going to impede it that much. So I think we'll start to cool off just a little bit more on the east side of the state with this. So this is at 10 o'clock, rain's moving into Little Rock, snow into the Ozark foothills. And that freezing rain starts to set up from around Corning, really along the 67-167 corridor, up to the 67-167 corridor, up to the 67 corridor north of Newport, or north of Bald Knob. We start to see that freezing rain and sleet start to impact the state. That only goes out to around 11 o'clock. I'm going to go to the last hour of the 16Z, which is the 10 o'clock showing in this. So like I said, it's doing about the same thing. It's picking up on that rain across the south at 1 o'clock. Start to move it in. That low start to track into Louisiana. And we start to see that area of snow and sleet breaking out and freezing rain along the 67-167 corridor around 10 to 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock start to transition to Little Rock area. 1 o'clock further eastward as that 32-degree line starts to dip farther south, closer to I-40 and southward. And we start to see some heavy snow start to move into the eastern part of the state. That's why I don't think a lot of northwest Arkansas is going to get a lot of snow, because it's going to develop more into the eastern half of the state. That's why that winter storm warning is in effect for the eastern half of the state. This will continue to change. The snow totals will continue to change. 2 to 4 inches into the Little Rock Metro. I think that's going to be about the best bet. 2 to 4 inches in the central metro. The further east you get, 3 to 6 inches is not out of the question. A little bit higher amounts as you head out towards the Mississippi River. along and east of the river into Tennessee, where it really starts to ramp up as it moves out to the mid-Atlantic states, where they're expecting a blizzard for DC. 2 feet of snow for Washington D.C. has not happened in almost 100 years since the 1920s, early 20s. They have not seen that much snow fall in one storm in D.C. That still is up for debate on how much snow D.C. will get where that low redevelops off the coast. But still, there's going to be a lot of snow, especially if you're traveling into the northern states of the southeast, into the mid-Atlantic states, even in towards D.C. and even further north and towards New York. There's going to be a lot of travel problems out on the East Coast. Travel problems from Little Rock now to Nashville, Charlotte, Raleigh, then north of that into D.C., Philadelphia, New York area, New Jersey area. I will keep you updated throughout the evening as soon as I get back to Central Arkansas. Follow me on Twitter at WXAaronJC. You can keep up with me on Facebook, and that is meteorologist Aaron Castleberry. I'll try to keep Facebook updated, but most of my updates will still come from Twitter, and I'll try to do another one of these video updates when I get back to Central Arkansas. So right now that we remember the winter weather advisory for northeast Arkansas for just some freezing drizzle that could move through this afternoon is in effect until 6 o'clock. I think that's probably going to get canceled if it's not already canceled. The winter storm watch starts to go in effect at 6 o'clock tonight for all the pink shaded counties. Central Arkansas, that will expire at noon tomorrow. Eastern Arkansas at 6 o'clock if they don't expire it a little bit early, cancel it a little bit earlier for Memphis. The winter storm watch is in effect for those counties that lie along to the west of that winter storm watch or warning, that goes until 6 and until noon until 6 for Ashley and Chico counties. I'll try to keep you updated. Try to stay safe. If you have a smartphone, you might want to go ahead and download the iDrive Arkansas app, and that will keep you up to date road conditions on all the major highways in the state, all the interstates, 67, 167, even some of the most of the U.S. highways, even a couple state highways. It will keep you updated, especially in the metro areas of Little Rock, Fayetteville, and Jonesboro, and even into Memphis, West Memphis. It will keep you updated on road conditions. If you do not need to get out tonight and into tomorrow, do not get out. And if we don't get anything, we're just prepping for the next storm. But I think we're going to get something, especially into central and eastern and to northeastern Arkansas. Keep it here. I'll keep you updated throughout the day. Be safe, and God bless.